Okay, hello everybody. Hello. RCX MMA. Welcome back to the channel. Um, I'm gonna talk about this redact. If you, if you're a fan of MMA, unless you might be like, look, I don't dislike Jesse on Fire, but if you're a Jesse on Fire fan, you might like Brendan Schaub. I think most hardcore MMA fans don't like Brendan Schaub. I don't like Brendan Schaub. I used to be. Maybe about 5 years ago, huge fan of The Fighter and the Kid before he changed into the arrogant redact. I'm just saying that for now. We need to get a minute in the video, at least. He's became extremely arrogant and like he'll just like talk badly on people like throughout his whole podcast and then cries and complains when he gets the level of hate that he does, and he doesn't think that there's any merit to it. He thinks that people just dislike him for no reason, which is hilarious because like you don't see the kind of hate he gets for almost anybody else, dude. I mean, maybe if you get into like Twitch politics or something, you might be able to find subreddits as nasty as the one that goes in on fucking Bappa over here, but man, this guy, he's just something else. And it's so funny, man, because like in terms of his spousal relationship, we know, or if you've paid any attention and heard the stories, we know that he's not the greatest spouse. Maybe he's a good provider, and maybe he thinks he's a beast of a dad and all this jazz, but we know that as far as the marriage side of things goes, he is not the best. Okay, he tries to get a wog to his truck from Annie Letterman, who is disgusting, if I'm being honest, compared to Brendan Schaub's wife, which is why I have no idea why you think you would need Annie Letterman to walk you to your truck, okay? And when was asked about it on Flagrant 2, which I also hate that podcast because they laugh like a bunch of full-on redacts at shit that is not that funny. Like, Andrew Schultz and Akash could be a laugh track for an entire sitcom. They wouldn't need anybody else. They are so loud and obnoxious in their laughs. And the producer dude, Alex, is just a woke idiot, race grifting dummy, in my opinion. And like, people can talk shit about me, I don't care. Dude, I'm not going to cry about it. Like, you guys don't understand how much this really affects me. It doesn't. Okay. But Schaub does. And he's like Ariel in the sense where if there is a story on Dana White, he's going to go as hard as he possibly can, because he says that Dana White's a middle-aged man who tries to look cool, dressing in designer jeans and some nice sneakers, which is absolutely hilarious coming from the guy that thinks he can dress like Jared Leto while being double his size. And, yeah. Buys sneakers that come out like fucking nonstop like crazy. Like he's a literal woman. Okay, with his fashion. And, yeah. This video, though. I woke up in the morning and I figured out I don't want to... pardon me. Didn't want to do just a pics video, because I was slacking the last couple weeks, so I want to be able to put out more content than just that. I was scrolling through Instagram on my Explore, because I do not follow Thick Boy Studios, as you can see right there by the follow button. I saw this on my Explore, and you know what? It angered me. I did a video on the Dana White slap incident. I don't condone hitting your wife, but at the same time, him and his wife are both guilty of domestic abuse. You can say one's worse than the other based on sex or gender, but They're both guilty of domestic abuse, no matter which way you want to spin it, okay? And if we're being honest, she hit him harder. That doesn't excuse it. But the fact that Schaub's over here going after someone's job indirectly. Now, he tries to say, oh, I don't want him to get fired. First of all, he says that he can't believe... Well, we're going to get into it. His politics is horrible. This guy's absolutely brain rotted, okay? From the inside out. And, yeah, we'll get into it. I want to watch the video, and then we'll break it down. So, anyways, if you've watched one of my videos, I would appreciate if you subscribe if you plan on watching more. If you've watched one, you've probably seen my pitch that I give for subscription. I live in rural British Columbia, Canada. We've got egg stands because it's acceptable to have chickens and whatnot here, where you build a little hut at the edge of your property. If you're selling eggs, that is. You got your eggs in the cartons out there. You got a jar on the counter of said hut, okay? And you just trust your neighbors to put $5 in for that dozen of eggs. And it benefits everybody because you get a better deal on eggs than the grocery store, because in Canada, thanks to our wonderful Supreme Leader, eggs are increasingly, they just keep going up. They're super expensive. If you want to buy decent eggs, you're looking at like $8 a carton. So you get a better deal on better eggs, and I get to sell eggs and make a bit of money. So it benefits everyone. It would greatly benefit me if you would subscribe, metaphorically giving me the $5 and not just stealing my eggs, because I'm going to be working extremely hard on this. I've been trying to put out as much content as I can, and I would like to grow the channel. It will benefit you in the sense that you'll be doing a very nice thing. And if you like my videos, they'll show up on your feed, so you won't have to go looking for me. So we're going to play this video from quite possibly the worst studio name of all time. And we'll get into it.
Explain it. I'm more just baffled that's not a bigger story. It's mind-blowing to me. I don't want him to lose his job or get fired, but there should be some repercussions to hitting your wife. Here's a question. Let's say...
What repercussions? When you hit your wife, the law gets involved. Or if she wants to divorce, like divorce lawyers get involved, divorce court gets involved. But since when has like a man been fired for like an argument with his wife who has nothing to do with the business whatsoever? You get me? Especially when she hit him first. Like, I can't grasp it, dude. Even my wife is like, I don't get it. They both hit each other. And I'm like, yeah, I know, dude. I know. It's funny, too, if the left, which he goes into... I'll just wait.
I don't know. The uprise did come eventually, and the people get a hold of it. Because remember, Dana's boys with Trump. Super boys with Trump. Trump supporter, refused vaccines, lockdowns.
This is the part that made me do the video. This part made me the most mad, if we're being honest. Okay. Dana White did not refuse vaccines. He refused lockdowns, and he didn't even. He followed every fucking protocol they asked him to for a very long time. That's why corners had to wear fucking masks, like hanging off their face even, for no fucking reason. When there's 2 fighters in the cage and a referee, no masks. Dana didn't wear a mask usually. But he followed all the protocols. They had to do COVID tests. They canceled many fights due to COVID. Right? Not to mention, if you watch Joe Rogan or listen to Joe Rogan or see clips of Joe Rogan, or if you watch the Anakin Florian podcast, or again, see clips of or whatever, you'll know that as soon as the vaccines were available, Dana White had Johnson & Johnson available for everyone. And it was basically if you want it, it is available. for his whole company. This was before, right before, Johnson & Johnson got pulled for blood clots or something, rather, at the very beginning. So if anything, like, he may have been more hard on vaccines than most places, because at the very beginning, when they were first rolled out, he bought a fuck ton of them, brought them to the whatever, had doctors that were, if you want it, it's available for his employees, which, by the way, is how things used to work. Okay, maybe not if we're talking about like polio or hepatitis or, you know, something along those lines, right? Like the ones that you really don't want to get. Okay, but when we're talking about flu shots and this new one, right, which, by the way, I did not get, and I have still yet to this day to catch the cooties. Okay, but before all this, pre-2020, flu shots were available for those who wanted them. They were never mandated, right? It's probably how this one should have worked, which is how Dana White did it. He bought a bunch, he brought them to his company. You want it? Here it is. Take it if you want. I would imagine that Dana White did in fact get those shots, and then once they got pulled, went, I'm not getting no more. Jesus. You know, they got pulled quick. They got pulled out so quick, actually, that it makes you think, like, did they not realize that this was going to be a problem before they rolled it out? We now know after only a couple days, or did you guys really just do no tests? But so by all accounts, he's not anti-jab or anti-lockdowns. He didn't like the lockdowns. He was pretty outspoken, but he didn't just like ignore them. He followed all the protocols that were required of him, no matter how stupid and annoying they were. So this is just absolute falsity from this retard, fucking probably partially Down syndrome Brandon Schaub.
He's that far right guy. He's a
far right guy. He's that far right guy. I don't think Schaub knows what that means. Again, if you're into like Twitch politics or even maybe any kind of online politics, dude, you might view Dana White as a far right guy. But if you're to like break down his political philosophy, which he's alluded to on multiple occasions, like he's essentially a libertarian who probably pays more taxes than his entire like consumer base. So it's not like he's storming the Capitol over taxes and shit, you know what I mean? Like, he's not a far right guy, dude. He's even said in interviews, like, if you voted for Joe Biden, I don't hate you. He's like, politics is whatever. He's like, it's not supposed to be like that. I'm supposed to be able to be friends with somebody who voted in a different way, and that's the beauty of America, and that's what he's spoken about. And if that is far right, then Jesus Christ, dude. You know. But let's continue.
Far right guy, right? I can't believe the left hasn't got a hold of this and just went bananas on it. That,
in these situations, it's a little tricky for the left, though, because they claim that, you know, gender is on a spectrum and men and women are the same and are interchangeable for that matter, while at the same time trying to push like feminism and shit, right? So how do you fight for equality of women and saying that a trans man should, or a trans woman should be able to get in a cage with a biological woman and break their fucking face, and then also get upset that a man maybe like slapped his wife a little bit? How can those two things coexist? Now, he's right on, like, it's a little strange that, you know, the left hasn't, but the fucking thing is that they have, dude. Now, again, I'll be charitable. Don't know. if this came out before or after, but there's a part of the Californian government, like a women's caucus or something rather, that have sent like written letters or petitions or whatever the fuck. They're trying to get him fired, right? So they kind of have. But if we're being honest with ourselves, man, how many fucking lefties do you think watch MMA or pay attention to MMA even a little bit, dude? Also, the extreme lefties wouldn't view that as like a man should never hit a woman. That's just like a person hit a person and a person hit that person back. So what the fuck? Otherwise, they'd be complete hypocrites, and it's hilarious watching them squirm over shit like that, dude. Anyways.
How powerful he is. Even the left is like, but you're going to fuck with Elon Musk?
Even the left? Is that a person? Is the left tight-lipped? Like that, bro? Is that a person? The left? What a stupid thing to say, dude. He's probably got people on the left that work for him. Also, again, they have. The Women's Caucus of California or whatever the fuck is trying to get him fired currently. Also, Elon Musk bought their safe haven, their echo chamber, and went no more. So of course they were upset about it. I love it, but they were upset about it. It was their like safe space, you know, where the moderators enforced only their political ideology and they could get away with almost anything and their opposition couldn't. And he took that away from them. So yeah, they'll go after Elon Musk. Dana White ain't got nothing to do with them. And again, followed all the protocols. Got vaccines for all his employees. He's not Schaub's such a fucking idiot, dude. He's a retard, straight up. And I don't give a fuck, dude. I'll burn bridges in future bridges because obviously I've got 9 subscribers now. So that's hilarious that I would even assume I would ever even have that opportunity. But one day we'll get there. You know, but I don't give a shit about Schaub. I would never fuck this guy, okay? He's not smart enough to talk about politics, clearly. And it's just not making a whole lot of sense. But
and Trump Jr., like all these powerful people, but Dana,
these people that like directly affect them, or at least they view it as that, right? But again, how many progressives do you think are out here watching MMA on a regular basis or paying attention to MMA news? You know what I mean? Or even watching ESPN for that matter. I guess a lot of them. Maybe that's why they pander so hard. I saw, don't ruin this fucking sport, dude. And now Schaub's contributing to it. Schaub and Callan aren't on the progressive train either, necessarily. When it comes to some things. I'm sure some things they are, but don't ruin our fucking sport, dude. That's like the only thing it's got going for it. Like, bro, I'm Canadian, right? So hockey's a big deal here. I fucking hate hockey, but despite that, I hate watching hockey, okay? But despite all that, they've been putting out like commercials about racism in hockey. And that's why there's not a lot of black players. And it's like, yeah, no, it's not because they excelled at like basketball, football, or fucking basketball, or I already said that, but any other sport. It's because there's racism in hockey and black people are not encouraged to go into it. Like all these professional leagues pander. And it's gross, and I don't want that to happen to MMA, so fuck off.
Where you draw the line? Holy shit. I might go missing after this podcast.
He's such a clown, dude. Anyways. There's Schaub being a retard. What else is new? You know, honestly. Alright, fuck it. Let's just end this video. Anyways, I said all I needed to say. I did a pretty good, I feel like I did a pretty good commentary job, fucking like a legit streamer, guys. Okay. Like and subscribe, please. Don't steal my eggs. Goodbye. See you tomorrow.